Hey, welcome back to the JMFG podcast. I'm your host, Johnny M.F. Glenn. Hey, we're going to do things a little different today on today's episode. It's going to be me talking about a lot of things that happened over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say, right after Christmas. So a lot of these things I know parents are going to be able to relate to. I know all my buddies will probably be able to relate to, but I just wanted to come in and share some of this stuff because it's been kind of like wide open, and then, I really had time to process it, and then just sitting there thinking about it. Had a guest that came in today, we filmed, but I won't release that episode probably for the next week or two. Well, anyways, hey, glad you guys are tuning in like I always do. I want to thank all my subscribers, followers, viewers. Hey, tell your friends. We're almost at 500 viewers, or subscribers, I should say. I just want to say thank you to everybody for all your support, because it really means a lot. But like I've said from day one, this is not my podcast, it's our podcast. So I want to say thank you to everybody that supported. Thank you for your continuing support. And I just want to say, hey, the show's doing good. Podcast is doing good. Thanks to you guys and all the feedback that you guys are sending me. It's making a big difference. But anyways, no further ado. I want to jump back January 6th. I was down in South Georgia hunting. My brother was home, as everybody know if you watched the Christmas episode. We were down in Georgia hunting. I get a phone call about 3:32. I just got in the stand. It was from my daughter Sarah, and I text back, hey, I can't talk right now. As soon as I hit send, my phone rang again. And of course I said, hey, I can't talk right now. I just got in the stand. It was a pretty day, and I just had that feeling. Big buck coming, so. And then all of a sudden my phone, she sent me a text that said, I just got hit. And for a parent, I just, like right then, I almost fell out of the tree stand. I was like, oh my God. So I called her right back right then, and I was like, hey, are you okay? And of course she was talking she was screaming, she was trying to get her thoughts together, and she was fine, but she was just shaking up a little bit. But anyways, so a guy came over her lane, hit her head on, and Sarah said she got into the ditch completely off the road, and she was screaming. She was like, Dad, I screamed, no, no, no. And she said that was the last thing I remember. So she got knocked out. They took her to the emergency room. I called as soon as she told me what had happened, and I'll get into that later because I want to thank a couple people that were there. But as soon as that happened, people, Good Samaritans stopped. So the first person I want to say thank you to is Miss Sarah. I'm not going to put her last name on my ear, but if she's watching this, which she will because I'll send it to her. Miss Sarah, I know I sent you a text to thank you for being there for my daughter. But as a parent, and I know you told me you had kids also, to just know that another parent is there to, guide your child along or help your child out in a time of, crisis or a time of need, or however you want to put it. All I know is that my daughter just got in a head-on collision, got knocked out, bruises all over her body, banged up pretty good, suffered concussion. And so for you to stop and take that time to make sure she's okay and just talk her down off of that hysterical or that excitement that she was on, because like she told me, she was like, Dad, I can't even get my words right. She was slurring her words. She was dazed and confused. And so Miss Sarah, for you stopping and pulling over, I just want to tell you thank you, because that meant a lot to me when I did call her phone back and you answered, and I was talking to an adult, and you actually said to me, calm down, your daughter's in a head-on collision, but she's okay. I think she's a little shaken up, and I think she's going to be all right. And when you told me that, I was still excited, but that did calm me down a lot. So I just want to tell you again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. That meant the world to me, knowing that somebody was there just to be there with her. She wasn't alone. And having said that, ma'am, I know I can't thank you enough, but I'm going to continue to say thank you. And you're going to get random texts from me telling you thank you, because it means a lot to me. And on my show, it's all about helping and sharing other people's stories. So I love to have you come on the show, talk about Sarah's accident, and then talk about, whatever story you might have to share. And having said that, I also want to thank Miss Melissa. She was the second lady that stopped and helped Sarah. And Sarah, after everything settled down, Sarah told me Miss Melissa gave her a blanket, came and talked to her, told her everything's going to be okay. And, Miss Melissa, I can't thank you enough for just being a good Samaritan and just stopping. Because at the end of the day, like I was telling Sarah that night, I said, baby, it's helping somebody is free. It takes nothing to help. Just like running a podcast to help people. It's free. You mean it costs me a little money to buy the equipment, but other than that, it's free. And the way I look at it is to help somebody, to be nice to somebody, to be courteous to somebody, to treat people the way you want to be treated. It doesn't cost us anything. So I don't see why it's such a hassle when people don't stop and help. And when I was talking to Miss Sarah, she even texted me and said, people are just passing by. Didn't even stop to say, if y'all need any help. When you see two cars head-on collision, you would think, just a human being, you would be, hey, let me figure out what's going on. Let me see if I can help. And to the other people that were out there, I don't know the guy's name and his son, but Sarah told me that the guy had his son out sweeping the debris off the road and he was directing traffic. So to you guys, if Miss Melissa or Miss Sarah, if y'all know these guys, please, give these guys my greatest thank yous. Give them my phone number and tell them to contact me. We'll love to take these guys at lunch, just sit down and talk and thank them. And also, I always send shout outs to law enforcement, school teachers, officer corps now, military, anybody that's in a servant role to me. That's important. That is what I think makes our world a better place. So to Officer Dowdy, I hope I'm saying that right, D-O-T-Y, I want to tell you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being, or Trooper Dowdy, I'm sorry. Just thank you, sir. I just can't thank you enough. My daughter said you're very professional. You checked on her, and then a couple of days later she called you, and she said that he was just so nice, so polite. So hey, sir, I know you probably don't get enough, but from a father to you, to a person that served, thank you so much for being there. Thank you for looking out for it. Thank you for doing everything you've done, and continue to be safe. And my thoughts and prayers are with you and your family when you're out there serving this great country. Now, having said that, I would like to say to all the parents, if you're watching this, stop right now what you're doing. Call your kids, text your kids, and just tell them you love them. You know what I mean? And I know you do it, and I know you have. I'm not saying you don't, but just tell them, because that day when I was down in South Georgia, when it's hunting season, my mind's all about being in the woods. I call my kids in the morning, I call them at night. But during the day, they know I'm in the woods, let daddy be in the woods. But that day I realized that, that anything that we do in life can be taken away from us in a split second. Like literally. So, and one thing I'll say is people talk about, life being unfair. It is. Everything in life is, not everything, but most things in life are unfair. I should be 6'3" or 6'4". I'm only 6'1". Okay, maybe 5'9", 5'10". But, at the end of the day, it's like we never know when that end's going to be. And that is the beauty and the tragedy of death. Like we never know when it's going to come. We never know how it's going to come, when it's going to come, the shape is going to come in, the form is going to come in, the fashion is going to come in. So at the end of the day, take the time out to tell your loved ones you love them. Take the time out to tell your loved ones how much you appreciate them. Just like all my buddies. And I'm not perfect, but I try to text my buddies at least once or twice a week and tell them, hey man, I appreciate you. Hey man, I love you. Because you never know what that person's going through. And so today on today's episode, I wanted to talk to people about just the little things of just being helpful and just like thanking people or just speaking to people. My dad used to always say speaking is probably the only thing that's free. You can say, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up, brother? Hey, ma'am, how you doing? It costs us nothing to do that. So, today's episode, I just wanted to talk to people and just have people reach out and just say hey to your loved ones. Tell them you love them. And for people that you have arguments or you have beef with your loved ones or with friends or whatever. Me and my friends argue all the time, but you know what? I love them and I care about them. So at the end of the day, if we argue about something, I cool off, they cool off, and then we come back and we meet in the middle. We try to compromise about it. Or if it's my kids, or if it's my family, or, it's things me and my brother Nate don't agree on. It's things me and my brother Jeffrey don't agree on. Me and my brother Jeffrey argued every day he was here. But every day I told him that night, I hit him upside the head, I love you, boy, because I was happy to have him home. So before I go get all emotional, I just want to tell everybody, hey, call and tell your family members, tell your friends how much you love them. And whatever beef you got with them, just squash it, get rid of it. Because if they leave here tomorrow and you didn't have a chance to clear the air or had a chance to resolve what you had going on, that could eat at you, that could bother you, and it could bother them. So just take the time out. And there's nothing out there that we can't forgive somebody for. Do you hold a grudge? Yeah, we're human. You might hold a grudge against it, but you can still forgive them. You can still tell them that you love them, regardless of what they've done. And so having said that, I just want to say, hey, call your loved ones, tell them you love them, tell them you appreciate them. And for Officer Dowdy, Miss Melissa, Miss Sarah, and the son and the father that helped with the crash, all you guys that stopped, everybody that, first responders that came, the people that were in the ambulance, people at the hospital, thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for taking care of our little girl. And for everybody out there, Sarah's doing a lot better. She was diagnosed with a concussion. Her back's still hurting, her neck's hurting. And I think a lot of it's just stiffness and soreness. And I told her, baby, you were hit in a head-on collision, so of course your body's gonna be a little sore. You're still gonna hurt. You're gonna hurt for a little while, but let's just get over the concussion. She went back to the emergency room 2 days ago. I went up to Albemarle. I met her at the hospital, and the doctor there. Thank you, ma'am. The doctor did a great job explaining to Sarah about concussions, and they put her in a concussion. She got to go to some kind of concussion specialist this week. So they took some CT scans, said no hemorrhages on the brain at first, but after the accident, they thought she had a little small brain bleed. So thank God she didn't, and she took another CT scan 2 days ago. So all clear there. Just got some headaches. So hey, baby girl, just keep doing what you're doing. The doctor tell you to rest. Don't try to overdo it. You'll be fine. All right, now fast forward into 3 days ago. I just got back from Vegas. I went out to Vegas, and no, I did not hit the big one. I tried, but I didn't. I lost more money than I won, because if I would have hit the big one, then I'd have sent you guys a podcast episode from my own island, because I would have bought one. But anyways, I just want to bring up Las Vegas because I've never really cared for Las Vegas. Beautiful place, but I've never really cared for it just because it's the lights, the money, and all that crap. And plus, I love to gamble, so I don't need to be there. But the thing I'm bringing up about Las Vegas, and I hope the right people see this, but I went to an Albertson in Las Vegas. Can't remember what street it was on, but I had to pee so bad. And they wouldn't let me in the bathroom. Well, they let me in the bathroom, but it took them 20 minutes. So every store I stopped to in Las Vegas, whether it was a gas station, Albertsons, any store I stopped to, was a retail store, didn't. Matter of fact, I wanted to go to Ross to buy a belt. I turned around and walked off from there because the guy told me he couldn't let me in the store at the time because they had too many people in the store. I'm like, dude, I counted 8 people. I was like, okay, whatever. But anyways, so went out one night, bought the homeless some pizzas just to feed them, and just to, I don't know, try to give back, and then just to see the gratitude on people's face when you're giving them pizzas. Actually, my buddy paid for the pizzas, but when you're giving people food and when you're taking care of people, and the gratitude that people show, or the appreciation that they show, was just mind blowing. Like, every one of those people was happy. They was like, hey, thank you, brother. Thank you, sir. They was taking the pizza. Talked to one lady, and her thoughts, she's still in my thoughts and prayers. She had a good job, husband had a good job. He got cancer twice. They ended up losing their house, and now they're homeless. And you don't want to go back to the doctors anymore because chemo almost killed him. So she said it's just a matter of time. So, ma'am, my thoughts and prayers are with you and your husband. Pray to God, you guys, I hope you can beat it again, and I hope you guys can get back on your feet. You got my number, so if you need anything, give me a call. But the one thing I want to say to the state of Las Vegas, if you're driving down the strip, you got all this money, people gambling, and yeah, it might be people traveling, it might be whoever. But at the end of the day, we got to take care of our own. Like, you drive down Main Street to where it intersects Washington, there's just homeless people up and down that street. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to make an excuse, because a lot of homeless people, I've talked to a lot of homeless people and I help them. A lot of homeless people, they choose to be there, which is great. But you got a lot of people, like the lady with her husband, that don't choose to be there. So what do we got to do to fix that? Because I'm so sick of us worried about other places, whether it's another country, whether it's somewhere else. And I get it, we're the problem solver of the world. But having said that, let's take care of our own problems first. So for all the officials, government officials out in Las Vegas, hey, let's do what we need to do to police our own. Let's make sure people are getting food and, clothing or whatever. And we can figure that out. I know we can. And then at the end of the day, it's up to us as, Americans, as citizens, to police our own. It's up to us to help each other, because the sad part about it is, I love animals. I love my farm. I love animals. But I've seen so many people that are much more kinder to a dog or a cat on the side of a road than they are to a human being. And to me, there's something wrong with that picture. Don't get me wrong. I know animals and I love my animals. I love my dog to death. But at the end of the day, I love Emery. He was there for me during my mom and my dad passing. But at the end of the day, I would choose any human over my dog because he's a human being. And that's just me talking. And you can bash me on the reviews and tell me I'm wrong, and that's fine. I'll take it. But at the end of the day, I wanted to send that out to all the homeless people, or not homeless people, to all the government officials in Las Vegas and all the citizens of Las Vegas. And I know people are doing this, so I'm not criticizing people that aren't. But if you can help out, help out. And for the most part, like I tell people, I can't give you money because I'm broke, but I can give you time, and I will feed you, period. And I got that from my mom and dad. So, you know, for everybody in Las Vegas, New York, all the cities, Fayetteville, right here in Georgia where I'm from, there's homeless people there. I bought a guy lunch there when I was in Georgia. Eric was his name. I'm not going to say his last name. But for everybody who graduated with me, he's one of our classmates, Eric. And he wasn't doing too good. And then I heard he got arrested a couple weeks before that. He was in Burger King, walking in Burger King, sitting in the back, and he was hiding back there. And I told my sister, I said, I know that guy. She's like, well, go talk to him. I said, I'm going to go get him some food first. I bought him some food, talked to him for about 10, 15 minutes. And just to see him like that as one of his classmates, it hurt me. I was like, oh my God, man, I remember seeing that guy when he was in school, and he was a tall, slender guy, you know, athletic. And then to see him in the state he was in, I was like, man, that's terrible. So I even asked my sister, you know, 3 to 5 years, I'm going back home, and I'm going to be like, okay, what can I do to actually help? You know, donating money, giving out book bags, that's all great. But what can we do to sustain? You mean buying somebody food? Yeah, that's a quick fix for that day. But like my dad used to say, if you teach a man how to fish, he won't go hungry. But if you feed him, then he's continue to be hungry. So, you know, I challenge everybody, you know, as people, what can we do more? Whether it's your community, whether it's your home or whatever, what can we do more to help people out, whether they're homeless or people that just can't, or people that just don't have the life that we have. You know, unfortunately, I got a roof over my head, I got about $30 in the bank, and my kids are healthy, they're alive, thanks to the people that I named earlier. So, at the end of the day, every chance I get, I think that's a blessing. So every chance I get to give back, I try to give back. And so, and it comes back twofold. My buddy Derek, I'm going to put him on the spot, Derek Harper, real good friend of mine. And me and Derek are always like, hey man, what can we do to help? Hey John, I just saw this lady on the side of the road broke down. You got an extra spare tire for this? I'm like, heck yeah, dude, I'm on my way. And he'll call me or I'll call him and need something. And he's always been there for me. I've always been there for him. And that's family to me. But it's people like Derek that make me strive to want to be a better person. You know, to want to be a better man. To want to be a better father. To want to be a better, you know, uncle. A better, you know, just a better overall human being. So at the end of the day, you know, if you got people like that in your life that you see are always doing good, it becomes second nature to you to want to do the right thing, or just, because don't get me wrong, I don't always do the right thing, but it makes you want to do right by people, if that makes sense. And all right, so now I'm going to fast forward, leaving Vegas. I land in Chicago, O'Hare. So Gene Harris and Mike Parker, don't y'all get mad at me. I'll see y'all next week in Florida golfing. But I didn't call you guys while I was at the airport because it should have been an hour and a half layover, but it ended up being like a 3-4 hour layover. And what ended up happening was, I think the president was in Raleigh at the time, so they were delaying all flights. So I jogged my butt all the way down to the end of the terminal in Chicago, Seagate. Get down there. I'm trying to catch a flight to Charlotte now because Sarah, where she goes to school, is close to Charlotte. So I'm like, hey, call Sarah. I'm like, hey, baby, can you get one of your friends to come pick me up? Because she's still a little hesitant about driving. She's like, yeah, me and Ken can come pick you up. I was like, all right, cool. Let me see if I can get on this flight first. So as I'm talking to the lady, they said, hey, flight from Greensboro, North Carolina is going to be boarded in 5 minutes. I'm like, where's that gate? She was like, C6. So I take off running back to C6. I get there, and when I get there, there's 2 gentlemen there. Granted, they're boarding a flight, and there's probably maybe 5-10 people in line that haven't boarded yet. So I'm like, oh yeah, I got time to get on here. So I go over there and I'm talking to the guy, and I asked the guy, well, let me back up. Before I went to C6, no, I went to C6 first. No, I went to C9, but it's actually at C6. And when I went to C9, I asked the lady, I was like, where's the Greenville flight? And then she's like, oh, sir, it's over there at C6. It's right over there. You got time. I was like, thank you. So I run over there, and she goes, well, what are you looking for? I said, I'm trying to see if I can get on this Greensboro flight because my flight to Raleigh has been delayed. She was like, okay, well, you got time to go over there. So I run over to the guys at C9, and it was a Hispanic gentleman and a taller gentleman. I don't know what his nationality was. I think he had to be European, I would say, I think. But anyways, these 2 gentlemen was out there like, hey, sir, no, we can't help you here. You have to go back down there, and they're going to have to rebook you over there. And I'm like, all right, dude, I've been traveling my whole life. And I don't know how many times I've walked up to a United counter, a Delta counter, and they can change. They see the same thing you see. You can change it. But these guys did not want to help me. I can't remember what the names are, but I remember the faces because they had their name tags turned around. He's like, sir, you have to go back over there. So I was like, all right, no worries. The lady down there just told me to come here. But okay. So I take off running. In the back of my mind, I'm like, he knows in about 5-10 minutes when they close those doors, I won't be able to get on that flight. So in my mind, I'm like, dude, I'd rather you just be honest to me and say, hey, sir, go back over there, because when you go over there, when you come back, the door's going to be closed. You can't get on this flight. Why not you just tell me that instead of telling me to run all the way across, the airport when you know I'm not going to make it back in time? So anyways, I was like, screw it. Grab my bag. I'm about to take off running. And the lady that had told me what gate to go to, she's like, sir, where are you going? It's over there. I said, ma'am, I just came from over there. And those guys told me I had to go over here to get my ticket changed. She said, let me see your boarding pass. I opened on my phone. She looked at me. She's like, come with me. She walked right back over there. And the guy was like, well, we getting ready to board. We getting ready to close the doors in 5 minutes. She's like, we've got time. So she went over there. She started typing in, my stuff. Had my stuff booked and changed in maybe 30, 45 seconds. And her name was Tina. So Miss Tina at United, she was in Charlie Gate. I don't know if that's the normal gate she works at. So Miss Tina in Charlie Gate, thank you so much, ma'am. Next time I fly through Chicago all the time, next time I come through there, I will have you a nice gift card to buy you lunch and dinner or something. So can't thank you enough for that, Miss Tina. I appreciate that. To those other two guys, hey man, I get it, but at the end of the day, it's your job. If you don't like your job, quit your job, find another job. But at the end of the day, you're in the business of customer service. So do customer service. And a lot of people say, well, I get a lot of customers that treat me like crap. And that is true. So every time I'm in a store, convenience store, Walmart, because I go to Walmart every day, I try to be as nice as I can to those people because you never know what somebody's going through. And two, I don't want to be that guy that people are like, man, that guy was an asshole. I don't want to be that. I'd rather people be like, man, that was a nice guy. Or that guy just made my day. So at the end of the day, those two guys, hey man, I'm not upset with you. Disappointed, but I'm not upset with you. And I hope one day you get a chance to see the JMFG podcast. I hope you get to watch this one. Just do your job, because the lady that walked over there, that didn't have to, but walked over there, did her job, and got me on that flight, and got two more people behind me on that flight. One lady was trying to get to her kids, and her animals, or whatever she said. I know her kids. But, you guys could have done that and helped her out, and that would have probably made that lady's day. But at the end of the day, you chose not to. I don't know what you had going on. I hope you had something going on. You weren't just being a butthole. But anyways, thank you guys for putting up with all the people you put up with. Go ahead, just do your job. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about on my flight back from Vegas, while I was in Chicago, Miss Janet, I know you're watching this show because you told me you were going to watch it. And I'm going to call the USO tomorrow. So for people that don't know, or people that do know, the USO, which is something operations. It's for the armed forces, anyways. It's basically where they got them in almost every airport when you go to the USOs, and you can go in there. And for military service members, you go into the UXO. I'm trying to look it up real quick. But when you go into the UXO, what it does is that you can go in there, and they have United Service Organizations. So the UXO is basically, if you're traveling in the military, you can go in there. It's free of charge. Everything's free. They have the internet. They have free food, drinks, lounge areas. Just places where you can sit down, relax if you got a layover, or if you mix your flight. And I must say, Miss Janet, I can't thank you enough. She was so sweet. We sat around, we talked, and I talked about the USO, and I told her that's only my third time being in the USO. And I was in the military for 23 years. But I never went because I just didn't know what it was. I would see it and I was like, I ain't going to that. Because I always thought it was something for like overseas travel. So I never went in it. But my buddy Matt took me in one time. I was like, man, this place is nice. What do we pay? He's like, nothing. It's all free. So as soon as I heard free, I was like, oh yeah, I'm there. And I told Miss Janet, their ham and cheese sandwich at the UXO, and people that have been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The ham and cheese sandwich and the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, those are the best sandwiches ever. I don't know. I told Miss Janet, y'all must fit in these sandwiches because these are the best ham and cheese and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that I've ever had. But I just wanted to send a shout out to the UXO in Chicago O'Hare Airport. Just great people. Miss Janet was there. There was another young lady there. I didn't get a chance to get her name. But me and Miss Janet might have talked for 20, 30 minutes. And of course, I made a donation like I always do. So for all my service members out there, if you can afford it, always try to donate to the Army Emergency Relief Program because it helps people that, got emergencies at the time. And then the USO is another one that you can donate to because I think it's just great that soldiers can go in there, they can, take a quick break, let the load off. And when I was there, it was a mom that came in with her toddler. And this kid was probably 3 years old. He was jumping on the chair, screaming and laughing, but it was cool because it was only like me, her son, and maybe 2 or 3 other people in there. And so she could just let him like have a good time, be a kid actually. And she was like, "Is he bothering anybody?" I was like, "No, man, let him be a kid." I think that's awesome. So to the Chicago USO, I think that's awesome what you guys are doing. To all the USOs that I've visited, I've only visited 3, and I will continue to visit them as I travel through airports, and I'll make sure I make donations like I did to the 3 I've been to. But I know the one in I think it's California. They actually have beds in that one. I'm like, California's doing it right. But I think they're all special in their own unique way. And if you're military, you know what the challenge coin is. But most of them, they have like challenge coins. They have, like team or unit stickers and stuff on the wall. So for all my viewers and listeners, if you're ever in the Chicago here, USO, if you go in there, I'll put up 2 JMFG podcast stickers. If you take a selfie with those stickers and send that to me with your address, I got some JMFG swag and some other stuff I'll send you. You'll like it. But anyways, I think that was just pretty cool. I stuck it up on the wall. I saw a couple of ODA stickers up there. I was like, man, let me stick my JMFG podcast sticker up on the wall. So anyways, but hey, Miss Janet at the USO, I told you I was going to send a shout out to you guys, and I'm trying to be a man of my word. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the great conversations. Thank you for everything there. I had a great time. The food, like always, was great. And so, having said that, I hope you guys got something out of the show. I'm going to sum this thing up by saying one more time, call your loved ones. Tell your loved ones you love them. Say, I love you, baby. Tyler, I love you, son. Lauren, I love you. I can't thank you guys enough. Oh, yeah, I want to send another thanks to Sadie. I called Sadie, and she was, like she's always been. She was Sadie on the spot, went right on up to the airport, kept me updated on Sarah, her, and Lauren. So, can't thank you guys enough, which I know I don't have to thank you, but thank you for dropping what you was doing to go make sure Sarah's okay. But, yeah, just call your loved ones, everybody, and just tell them thank you. Tell them you love them, and just tell them you appreciate them. Because you know what? That costs you nothing. You can send a text. You got a loved one like me and Mustard, we get on the phone, we talk forever. If you got a loved one like me, we'll just start talking, keep talking and talking. Just shoot them a text. Hey, I love you, I appreciate you. It's that simple. So for all my followers, all my subscribers, all my family, all my friends, all my boys, the Oppressor Lee Bear, I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. You got my phone number. If you need me, call me. If you need, help, I'm there for you. And if you just need somebody to freaking talk to, I'm there to listen. 919-353-9310. Again, 919-353-9310. If you guys need anything, shoot me a text, call me, and I'll be there. All right, guys. Love you guys. Have a good one.